What happens to unsold goods after December 25th? Boxing Day shopping has become an institution, and it goes on for days afterwards. But inevitably, some of this year's must-have clothing, the latest toys advertised on TV, state-of-the-art electronics, and small appliances for every kitchen task simply don't sell. So what happens to them? The answer is complex. Unsold non-perishable foods are often donated to local food banks. When it comes to clothing, retailers have been under fire for shredding brand new clothes and sending them to rag companies or even the landfill, rather than giving them to people who need them. If a retailer has warehouse space and the goods aren't something that will go out of fashion, unsold items can be stored until next year. Some retailers take it one step further, practicing what's called just-in-time inventory control, which means having the right amount of goods on hand and no more. Under this system, excess inventory is regarded as waste.
The ability to buy what you need, so you have the minimum amount of inventory on hand, has become a much more precise science. It really puts in the buyer's hands the ability to somewhat predict demand of different products.
Manufacturers who produce too much and retailers who stock too much have given rise to a whole new industry, the business of reselling.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
At stores like the North Shore Sports Swap, you'd expect to find used items on consignment. But look around and there's plenty of brand new merchandise at bargain prices. Store owner Cindy Meyer explains how it works.
For the upper end retailers, the ones who are selling this year's models of everything, to have last year's graphics just doesn't work for them. So that's where we actually take that opportunity to get direct from the manufacturers last year's or the year before's inventory that they might have left over. And we pick up some really good deals in that way.
So some retailers are taking advantage of overstocking while others are trying to avoid it. But ultimately, whose responsibility is it to ensure that manufacturers don't continue to crank out goods that don't last and we don't need?
I think in this one there's enough responsibility to go around for everyone. I think if consumers spoke up, which means not purchasing things, the manufacturers would change pretty quickly. But then on the other hand, I think the manufacturers and the multinationals need to step up and say, hey, we realize that there's an issue here. And it's just not healthy for us as consumers, it's not healthy for our kids, it's not healthy for our environment. And we just really have to step back and look at it and think about doing things differently.